2024 was a tough year for Eric Adams in the city of New York. Not only did the migrant crisis destroy the city and a lot of people start complaining, he also wasn't getting a lot of help from the federal government. And then the worst part happened. He got indicted by the FBI, and he's still fighting that case. But things are looking on the up and up for Eric Adams. But wait, there's more. See, the problem right now with Eric Adams is he has a beef within his own political party, and that's something that is not good to have. He's a Democratic mayor in the largest city in America, but he's fed up with the party. He blames the Democratic Party and the federal government for not assisting him with the migrant crisis. So there's been beef, and he believes that because he spoke out against it, he's being punished by the FBI. And now Eric Adams is being a little bit more open about how he feels about the new Trump administration coming in.
Those who are here committing crimes, robberies, shooting at police officers, well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
And he's doubling down by saying that again.
Mr. Mayor, I want to pivot to a different topic, which is immigration. You're meeting with Trump's border czar next week. You also, and you came on Squawk back in March and talked about those debit cards that you were advocating to be giving to migrants. That program is ended. But I'm curious whether you think in the end that was the right decision or the wrong decision, not to end it, but to begin it.
Yes, and they were not debit cards, they were food cards. And, you know, some of the sensationalism that was attached to it didn't understand the full mission. These were food cards. This law requires us to feed the migrants and asylum seekers that are here. We saw that there was food waste. And during the emergency, we gave them food cards where they had to purchase food on those cards. Instead of purchasing it from large conglomerates, we were able to spend the money locally in our local stores, our bodegas, our supermarkets. This was a smart idea of recycling the dollars within our city. And the reason we ended the program is because of the job we've done. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers in the city, 170,000 we were able to move to the next leg of our journey because of smart policies. We brought down the cost of the migrants and asylum seekers. This cost our city $6.4 billion that the federal government should have picked up the price tag, and they didn't. So we made the right decision, and I think now we have an administration that we can work with to further secure our borders and deal with this immigration crisis we're facing.
Now, let me just say this. All Democratic mayors are not the same. Brandon Johnson is a progressive, whatever that means, which is, in my honest opinion, he's more left-leaning and more insane, caring about everybody else instead of the people of Chicago. And so when you talk about the migrant crisis from Chicago, this is what he's saying.
His threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. I'm a descendant of slaves. Living through threat is painful. Why would I want anybody else to experience that? Whether you are a new arrival or someone who came up through the Great Migration from the South. We're not going to threaten people. We're going to stand up and fight for people.
So Brandon Johnson, he wants to protect more of the migrants than he does the people that live there in the city. But when you listen to Eric Adams talk, he wants the city of New York, a city that he loves. He was a particular state senator, as he said. He was a police officer there. And at one point, a Republican, he wants these people out of the city that should not be there. Now, then again, he talked about these food voucher cards. Now, that was a big thing. He took a big hit for that, right? I even roasted him for that. Like, why are you giving these immigrants and migrants, this sort of funding to buy what they want to buy? And he's always explained it in the way that he has. He said, listen, I basically created these prepaid food cards so that they could be spent in the city of New York at bodegas, at local shops, putting the money back into our community. And the reasons why I did that was because the federal government refused to help me. Now, the federal government, these are the people that basically allowed New York City to be a sanctuary city. I had no control over that. So I was doing the best things that I could do to make the city work again. And then also with the whole migrant to work thing. Now that I think about it, I mean, yeah, it is silly to say you want these immigrants to work because these immigrants are gonna take the jobs or opportunities from people who need the jobs. But again, what do you want them to be doing if they're not gonna be working? Do you want them doing what they're doing, like selling, you know what, booty clapper sounds? Do you want them stealing whatever they're doing? No, if they could work and do something, at least they would be productive in the city and versus doing whatever they're trying to do. And the thing is that this leaves a bad political stain on Eric Adams' resume. And so the thing is, if he were to run for mayor again, what are they gonna criticize him about? Well, you know what? It's you who had the migrant crisis. It's you who had the prepaid cards, when really he didn't have anything to do with that, and there's no way you can handle that situation. But Eric Adams is saying, listen, man, enough is enough. I need to get back on the winning team. And check this out. Don't be surprised if you see Eric Adams going back to the Republican Party. I'm seeing this with a lot of African Americans today. A lot of African Americans don't really like Republicans, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the white nationalists of today are more associated with the right or Republicans. Back in the 60s and 50s and 70s, it was mostly Democrats before that. But you know about the big party switch thing. So a lot of the people who are now more outside racists or more extreme racists are Republicans or even voting for Trump. I think African Americans are getting to the point where they're like, listen, there's probably racism on every side, and that doesn't really bother me. At least I know that somebody doesn't like me or they don't like blacks, and I'm okay with that. But what I'm looking at is what protects me and my family. What gives me the best opportunity to stay safe? What gives my family the opportunity to thrive? And I think when you look at that, it's easier to say that the Republicans have a better agenda when it comes to the migration issue, the economy, possibly, money staying in America. These are the issues that people are looking at. Even Democrats are saying, listen, when we don't want to go down with the sinking ship. The rest of the country is tired of Democrats. You know what I saw the other day? I saw an article where it says that New York wants to leave and join Canada, something like that. And that's very similar to a few years ago, California wanted to do what was called the Cal exit. Well, what they're not talking about is they're going to take their part of the national debt with them. So if California or New York were to leave the United States, you're going to take like 10 to 15% of the national debt with you, and you're going to have to pay it. And then all you're going to do is make sure that there will never be another Democratic president ever again. If you remove California from the Union or New York State from the Union, there will most likely never be a Democratic president for the next 100 years. And more people are starting to get tired of the policies the Democratic Party have. They're out of touch with reality. You know, now people are seeing firsthand in Denver, Boston, New York, and Chicago that these things are really affecting them. And that's where it's at. And Eric Adams, who basically is getting indicted because the Democrats have turned on him, and Donald Trump is giving him, some praise. Don't be surprised if Eric Adams runs as a Republican next time as a mayor. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy L. Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.